Do you think that topping the leaderboards in Overwatch 2 makes you a good player?
Wrong!
Well, we've all seen it. Players bragging in the chat about having the top damage or healing, and then complaining that their team is holding them back. But here's the truth. Stats don't win games in Overwatch, impact does. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why stats are misleading, why you should stop obsessing over them, and what actually matters if you want to win more games. Stick around because by the end, you'll see stats in a whole new way. Let's start with the biggest misconception. High stats mean high impact. No. Here's an example. Imagine you're playing Soldier and you've got 20,000 damage in a game. Way above everyone else. Impressive, right? But what if most of that damage was just shooting at the enemy tank while they're being pocketed by a Mercy and a Kiriko? Congratulations, you farmed numbers, but you didn't actually secure any kills or change the outcome of fights. Impact is what matters. Did your damage force cooldowns? Did it lead to a pick? Did it break support's positioning? Those things win fights. Raw damage numbers don't. So, tips then. Pressure priority targets instead of tanks unless it's fight winning. Track enemy cooldowns and punish when they're down. And position yourself to deal safe, consistent pressure instead of farming tanks. Here's another common trap. People think if you're topping kills or damage, they must be carrying, but that's not always true. Let's say you're playing Hanzo and you're consistently picking off the enemy tank. Great. Your kill feed looks good, your numbers look juicy, but meanwhile the enemy Tracer and Cassidy are farming your backline and your supports can't stay alive. High stats don't necessarily mean you're hitting the right targets. Prioritizing supports, squishies, or whoever the win condition is will be way more valuable. So yeah, you might end the game with fewer kills, but they'll be the ones that actually won you fights. So, prioritize killing supports or high-value DPS instead of tanks. Use comms or pings to coordinate focus fire, and position so you can threaten backline angles instead of farming frontline damage. Okay, so supports are just as guilty as everyone with this. Everyone has seen a Moira or Mercy spamming heals all game, topping the charts, and then flaming the team when things go south. But healing isn't everything. Ana can heal less than Moira and still be way more impactful if she lands clutch sleeps or antis. Zen might not put out insane healing numbers, but his Discord orb is swinging fights consistently. And Lucio's healing per second might look a little low, but one perfectly timed boop or sound barrier can win a fight instantly. So if you're a support, don't fall into the trap of thinking high healing makes you the MVP. Look at how your utility and decision making shapes fights. So, use utility abilities. Sleep, Nade, Suzu, Discord, Speed Boost at key moments. Position where you can heal and stay safe from dives, and track ultimates and save defensive cooldowns for fight-saving plays. KD ratio is another stat people love to throw around, but honestly, it doesn't mean much. Some heroes are designed to farm kills. Think Widow, Tracer, Genji, so their KD might look good. But what about Rhine, Sigma, or Winston? They're diving in, creating space, soaking damage, maybe dying more often, but they're enabling their team to clean up. A Rhine with a negative KD can still be the reason you're winning, because he's constantly shattering shields, taking space, and making life miserable for the enemy DPS. Same with Lucio. He might die a lot while booping enemies off the map or contesting objectives, but that's the value you won't see on the scoreboard. Look, I get it. KD looks good in a shooter, but in a team game like Overwatch, it's pretty meaningless without context. So, as a tank, measure your success by how much space you create and hold. As a support, prioritize survival and team impact over chasing kills, and as a DPS, trade your life only if it secures a fight-winning pick. Okay, let's talk ultimates. People get obsessed with how much damage their ults did or how many kills they got, but that's not the point. What really matters is ult economy. Did you use your ult to secure tempo? Did you bait out multiple enemy ults with one? Did your ult combo open a fight? That's way more important than padding numbers. A Genji who uses Blade just to secure one kill and draw out a Transcendence can actually be more valuable than a Genji who waits for the perfect 5-man Blade and then dies holding it. Ult usage is about momentum, not stats. So, use ults early to secure tempo and keep momentum. Track enemy ultimates and trade yours strategically, and communicate ults with your team so they follow up. Okay, this is where the real winners start to separate themselves. Game sense, positioning, and timing beat padded stats every single time. Picture this, player A has the highest damage but consistently overextends, gets picked early and leaves their team in a 4v5. Meanwhile, player B has average damage, but is always in the right place, calling out his ults and engaging when their team is ready. Which one do you think wins the games? It's player B. Numbers don't reflect positioning, communication, or awareness, but those things are what actually carries ranked games. So, position with natural cover and high ground whenever possible. Learn fight timings, don't go in before your team, and use voice comms or pings to call out targets and cooldowns. And remember, not every role's impact shows up in the stat screen. Tanks, their job is to create space, peel for enemies and control areas of the map. That doesn't always show up as a damage or kills. Supports, a good Suzu, Discord or speed boost can swing a fight, but they don't inflate your stat line. And DPS, sure, numbers do help, but sometimes zoning out a key hero or forcing a swap is just as valuable as topping damage. Every role has hidden impact that stats don't capture. So, for tanks, peel for supports and take space at the right times. For supports, balance healing and utility and survival. And DPS, create pressure that forces swaps or denies space, not just numbers. Okay, so finally, let's talk about the worst part. Stat obsession makes people selfish. Have you ever seen a Moira chase DPS stats instead of healing, or a Widow who refuses to swap because they're doing the top damage, or even a tank refusing to engage because they don't want to die and ruin their KD? Yeah, that's what happens when players care more about numbers than winning. Overwatch is a team game. The only stat that really matters is the W on your screen at the end. So play for team win conditions instead of individual numbers. Swap heroes if it helps the comp, even if your stats look good. And use comms for coordination, not bragging about damage or flaming. So the next time you're in a game and you feel like bragging about having the highest damage or flaming someone else's stats, remember this video. Stats might look good on paper, but they don't capture your real impact. Smart positioning, target focus, ult economy, and teamwork matter way more than raw numbers. But what do you think? Do you agree that stats are mostly meaningless, or do you think they still have some value? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And hey, if you found this video useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Overwatch tips, and check out my other breakdowns on things like tempo ults, mechanical skill, and accuracy. Trust me, you'll start seeing the game in a whole new way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.